Hey you guys, what is up? Adam here bringing you the top 4 of the Bentonville City Championships. This is of course the exciting Game 3 conclusion. In the first game we saw Michael Kendle make a really nice Volt Bolt play on Mark's Blastoise that prevented him from being able to deluge and really put all his water energy on the field and ended up winning him the game. In Game 2 we saw Mark definitely targeting those Eelektriks and making it so that Michael could not come back and recover in time. Now we have Game 3. Michael starts off with the regular Rayquaza in the active spot and a benched Rayquaza EX. And Mark starts with a lone Mewtwo, just like we saw in the first game. The big difference here is that we don't see any Dynamos on the field just quite yet. Kendle is going to play his Energy Search to get out a Lightning Energy, and then he's going to Ultra Ball away what looked like a Fire Energy and a Juniper. So that's probably going to be to get out a Dynamo. We see him definitely put one on the bottom of his deck. He's going to search through, see what's prized. Definitely important with this deck, having a lot of Dynamos prized definitely changes the way you play those, and is always an obstacle to overcome. It looked like he might have had something prized, it seems like, just based on the number of times he went through his deck, either Dynamos, Eelektriks, or possibly a combination of the two. And now he just sort of has a hand that contains another Juniper and Fire, so he's going to just dump that. So it could be a really nice hand. It was unfortunate that he did have to discard 2 Fires, but as we've seen from him before, he seems to be able to come back from that and runs a lot of Fire energy. So we're going to see another Dynamo out of him, and this is already turning out to be a very good turn 1. He's going to put some nice damage on the board with that Dragon Pulse. He's got what looks like another Ultra Ball, but he might... No, it's a Gold Potion. Okay, so he looks like he's sitting on another Rayquaza EX and N, Lightning Energy Gold Potion, switch from Heart Gold Soul Silver, and that's about it. So he's going to Pulse away. Ooh, and he discards a Dynamo. That's probably the card he least wanted to see there. The Raikou is a bit unfortunate. As we saw, he can play that pretty effectively, but not nearly as much so. And Mark only actually attached a Water Energy and an Eviolite and had to pass, so looks like a rough hand for him. Could be sitting on a lot of stuff he doesn't want to have to Juniper, but I'm not really sure. Didn't really get a good glance at it, but he's definitely behind the 8 ball, giving Kendle basically just a few turns that he needs to set up. He's going to get a Lightning Energy on that Rayquaza EX on the bench, and he's going to Dragon Pulse again. So we see him discard an Energy Switch and a Level Ball, and we see now Mark is going to be able to drop the Squirtle, catch her up, Dynamo, and X-Ball it for KO. So not as bad of a position now for Mark. He did play the town map, which is really interesting. He did get a Juniper out of his prizes with that, and we're going to see Kendle catch up the Squirtle, and it looks like he's just going to potentially Dragon Pulse again. He does have the Skyla and the N in his hand. He'll play the N, knowing his opponent has the supporter, bring him down to 5. Presumably, probably give him a worse hand than before. But both sides of the field, kind of an interesting match already. You have 2 Dynamos in the discard for Kendle. Things don't seem like they're really going really well for either player, to be honest. Kendle does have to deal with having that Rayquaza in the active. It is hard to retreat, but it is a very, very good attacker. He does hit a Fire Energy here, which is going to really help him. The question is where to attach it. Do you want a Shred or do you want a Dragon Pulse? When you have 2 Dynamos in the discard like that, it's kind of a toss-up, but at the same time, you also have that Mewtwo threatening your Rayquaza. It's not really as safe to try and get some Shred damage off. Also, if he has a Switch, that means that he could potentially even Dragon Burst for the KO. So he's going to Ultra Ball out, get out an Eelektrik, which I think is the right play. You want to be able to at least have some Dynamotor action at this point. You're going to have a tough time with your that many Dynamos in the discard pile. You need to be able to have some Dynamotoring. And he's going to put 40 on the Squirtle. Mark going to hesitate, not sure if he should play the N. He's going to play the Juniper instead based on his opponent's hand size. And he gets rid of a rare candy and 2 Ns. Definitely not the worst play you can make in this situation. He's going to attach to his Squirtle, and it looks like drop another Keldeo. He's going to retreat it and go into his Mewtwo. I think that's really the only play you have, and he's going to X-Ball, put 60 on the field. So really now the question is, does Kendle have a catcher? Can he take out the Squirtle? And then from there, it wouldn't be that difficult to see him winning this game. Mark's board position really seems a lot more fragile. However, Mark could potentially in the future take out that one Eelektrik, and then it's really unstable on both sides. Kind of a strange game we're already seeing here. So Kendall's going to Skyla, and it looks like he's probably going to be going for that catcher. We see him pause. We're not sure exactly what is in his prize cards. It seems that something has to be prized. He does have the catcher, though. We do see that on the top of his deck, and he's going to grab that out. And it looks like that Squirtle is going to go down. Another interesting note is that we still haven't seen the Tropical Beach from Mark in 3 games. That's definitely not how he's wanted to play this out. I know he definitely abuses Tropical Beach. And we're going to see Kendle Dragon Pulse away a Gold Potion and a Lightning Energy. So we'll see an attachment. Mark does get another Squirtle down, which is huge. He definitely needed that. It keeps him in this game. If he could get the Blastoise out next turn, I don't see what would be stopping him aside from this one pesky Eelektrik. He's just going to X-Ball, though. And now Kendle really has a nice position because he has the 2 Rayquaza EX in play. He can promote the one without energy, Dynamotor to the other one, and he should be able to knock out this Mewtwo. I think he only needs 2 energy to do so. No, he needs 3. It has 110 HP left and an Eviolite, so just barely making it to that required 130 mark. Kind of fortunate for Mark, I guess, in one sense. Prevents Kendle from being able to really wreck him with those Dragon Bursts a little bit down the road. Just kind of loses that extra one. Kendle also is sitting on the Super Rod, which he's going to play now. It's pretty much no-brainer what to grab out. I might not have gone back for the secret rare Rayquaza. I forget if he's discarded any Eelektriks is the thing. But definitely you need some Tynamos back in there. I don't know Kendle's deck as well as he does. He's also sitting on a Juniper with the Eelektrik, so if there were one in there, that would kind of, getting one in and out would kind of, even that score up. But it looks like he might have hit one. Yep, so he's got a Tynamo in hand. Also looks like he hit his Keldeo tech. So definitely some nice stuff in Kendle's hand right now. And the question is really just where to go from here. I definitely, would play down the Tynamo. There's no real penalty for playing it. It would put Mark at odd prizes, which isn't really something he's going to like all that much right now. It's also something you're going to need later on down the road. It looks like Kendle's going to have to Dynamotor to that benched Rayquaza if he wants to take out the Mewtwo. But he still does have his attachment for turn. He also has his energy retrieval, which is a really neat tech in here, I think. Definitely gives you a little bit more flexibility, gets those fires back into the hand, as well as those lightnings, if you need them. And he's just going to retreat, and he's going to play his fire energy on his other Rayquaza, so he's going to be able to get off some really nice dragon bursting action. And there we go. So that's the knocked out Mewtwo, and Kendle takes the prize lead again at 3-4. And Mark looks a little frustrated by that top deck. Not too sure. So he's got the Candy Blastoise. Maybe a bit relieved then. We'll see what he pulls off of this. Bianca looked like he got 3 cards. So there's an energy retrieval. That's going to be big. So it looks like he's going to be able to get off some secret sword or sacred sword action. I forget if it's secret or sacred. But he does have an Eviolite too, which is going to help. If you had the catcher, that would probably help a little bit more, I suppose. But I guess at the same time, you don't really have too much desire to go to odd prizes. You really need to target down these Rayquazas. Try and knock those out, I guess. You know that the Eelektriks are probably going to be on the field now. So Kendle gets out a second Eelektrik. and a third Dynamo. He does have the 30 Electric in hand, so that's going to be deadly. If he has, and he does have the energy retrieval as well, so if he can get a third Lightning Energy onto, well, no, because Mark has the Eviolite that's currently kind of saving his active Keldeo from essentially being taken out. You know, that's a huge card in this matchup. But it looks like Kendle has the Skyla, and he has the Tool Scrapper on top of his deck. Looks like that's what he's going to be going for. Ooh, and so that's going to be a really big play. He's going to be able to get rid of that Eviolite, and that is going to cost Mark huge in this game. So there goes the Eviolite. Now it's feasible for him to get the one-shot. It all depends on how many electric are in that discard. I think quite a few have to be. So he's going to energy retrieval. There's a lightning. And I think he's probably just going to grab a fire since he has this Dynamotors. So a lightning and a fire. The lightning is what he's going to attach. Yep. And now he's going to be able to retreat into that Rayquaza EX. And he's going to be able to Dragon Burst for 3 and take out that Keldeo and go down to a single prize. So now Mark is really behind the 8-ball. Does he have the energy? He's just going to scoop. That'll be the game. Michael Kendle advances to the top 2. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Make sure you rate, like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And I will catch you guys with more content later.